Welcome back to Beautifully Grounded. My name is Desiree. For those of you who don't know me, today is going to be part 4 of the 5-part series of Reclaim. Today we're going to be talking about the healing grid. Wait.
At this point, I know I lost you.
Yeah, that's what I said. The healing grid. I'm going to explain to you what it is. I'm going to explain to you how it worked and my experience. Hope you enjoy. When I first heard it, I was like, the what? Did I miss something? I don't think I heard this part yet. So, yeah, I was really lost. But once we got into it, they walked you through it, and it was amazing for me. The first thing we really talked about is energy and how we obviously are reclaiming our energy and how energy works and where we may be giving our energy what isn't needed or people don't deserve our energy. Yeah, we talked about that. And we also talked about not being afraid to work with our energy, not being afraid to realize our energy. For the people who are not on a spiritual journey or haven't really gotten into it, and maybe you just popped up on my video, I want you to close your eyes and put your hands out in front of you. And I want you to move them as close as you can as possible without touching. And then I want you to ask yourself, or just pay attention and see if you can feel anything in between your hands, even though they're not touching. Whether it be like sensations, or maybe it's getting hot, maybe it's getting cold, maybe there's tingling. Just let me know what you feel. And definitely comment below and let me know what you felt. I read in a book about this little practice, or this little thing that you can do about putting your hands together and feeling the energy that is flowing between your hands. Some people feel a temperature change, some people feel tingling. For myself, I felt tingling and kind of like when you slowly rub your hand across something. That's what I kind of felt. And it felt weird the first time, I'm not gonna lie. But it's a cool thing to try out, especially if you've never thought about it. With the energy flowing between us as human beings on this earth, you can definitely feel that energy. So that's just a cool practice. It had nothing to do with Reclaim, but I just thought it'd be interesting for some people. We are our own healers, and this video really hit me another way because I've been like really interested in Reiki healing for some reason. I have been trying to get into it, but I haven't really dove into it yet. I've been really busy with work. I've been really busy with other things, so I haven't dove into it yet, but I am still very interested in it. And what Reiki healing is using energy to heal people, whether it be physically or in some other way, but it is a way of healing. You use your energy or the energy around you to help people with ailments and different things like that. Like I said, I haven't gotten deep into it yet, so I don't want to speak too much on something that I'm not very knowledgeable on. When we did this video, it made so much sense because it was like that we are natural healers from the start. So if you think about it as a kid, if you have kids, or if you think back to when you were a kid, when we get hurt, the first thing we want is for our moms to kiss it or to hold it or to just rub it and say it's okay. And for some reason, as kids, or if you have kids, they automatically feel like, oh, okay, it's okay. And have you ever wondered, like, how does that all of a sudden make it okay? And it's because we are natural healers. We are natural nurturing people, and we do actually use energy to heal, and we've done it for a really long time. It's just not a common practice now. Another example is like when you get hurt now, even as an adult, the first thing you do is grab it. I mean, it doesn't stop anything, but for some reason it does cause the pain to ease a bit. So that just makes sense, and that really hit me because I was like, dang, I've been into this for a while. I've been trying to get into Reiki, and I never even thought of it like that. So that was very interesting. The thing we did discuss is the etheric wiring. Etheric wiring, that was a word I had never heard of. So I was kind of interested to find out what it was. But what etheric wiring is, it is the kind of, you could say, wiring that connects our physical body to our spirit, to the spirit world, to the realm, it's a way of our energy radiating to connect us mind, body, soul, and spirit. So it's what connects us to all of those different aspects of ourselves. It helps us get a sense of different things, and it may come in forms that we don't normally recognize. And I did speak about this in the last video about the different gifts, different clairs. So like I said, there's clairsentient, which is feeling. There's clairaudient, which is hearing. There's clairvoyance, which is seeing. And then there's claircognizant, which is the natural knowing. So these are all different things that we've heard of. I mean, we see people who are clairvoyant all the time. I'm pretty sure some people have heard of them, and maybe you haven't. But for me, I knew about them. I have been working on strengthening my own abilities, and that has been a journey of its own. What really hit me during this video is, like I said, I've been trying to get into Reiki. I haven't had as much time as I'd like. But when they started talking about Reiki and all of this stuff, I started getting a feeling like my chest felt like it was tight and my head felt like it was clouded. Like, it was the weirdest thing ever, because I was at home in my bed just listening to the video with my eyes closed like I was meditating. And all of a sudden I felt a tightness in my chest, and I felt a like my head was just surrounded, and it was just banging for some reason. And then out of nowhere she was like, if you're right now, if you're hearing this and you're feeling a tightness, or if you're hearing things, or if you're seeing things, if your gifts are coming through right now, that's a sign. And it was so weird for me, because I just wasn't expecting. Like I said, I had just got off of work. I came home and I was like, okay, I gotta do day 4. I lay down in the bed. I was getting ready to take a nap, and I was like, let me just listen to the video so I can get it done. And when she said that, I woke up. I was like, okay, I've been trying to figure out what my gifts are, and I haven't had any like definite luck. And so for her to say that and me to be feeling that at the same time, it just was an amazing flow of events, you could say. It was really weird, but it was also really good to hear that. What the Healing Grid is a space that the two creators, the co-creators of the Woo Collective, it's a space that they've created for people who they are doing work on. When we do work as spiritual beings, or as witches, as mystics, as mediums, things like that, we're not always going to be able to be physically in touch with our clients. So I pull tarot cards. I pull cards for people and do readings. And I have done some where I am in physical contact with them, but I do a lot of them like over messages or over something like that. I can't always be with everybody all the time. A healing grid is kind of a place that they've created, so when they are working with clients, that you kind of try to get everyone to that same place. It's a place where we are together, even though we aren't physically together, but our etheric wiring is taking us to this place, if that makes sense. It might not make sense to everybody, but if you get me, you get me. With the healing grid, what we did was we went into a guided meditation. Now, with the videos, you can listen at any time. It may be just you listening at that time, but it may be a lot of people listening at that time. And I can definitely tell you, when you are very in tune and in touch with your spiritual side, like, sometimes you can feel things and it's like, wow, like I was not expecting that. But I can definitely let you know, when I did this healing grid, I don't even know how many people were on at that time. I don't know how many people were watching at that time. But I could feel the energy of all of these people. Mind you, I'm in my room by myself, but I could feel the energy, and it just felt really amazing. It was a lot of just energy. It just felt great. It started off in a forest. They said a forest, and what you have to realize is that when you're doing this, not everyone is going to see the same thing. Everything is going to be unique to the person who is participating. So you may have things that come up to you that doesn't come up to everybody else, and you're like, what does that mean? And for me, it seemed like it was just a lot of trees. Not so much like bushes and things like that. It was just a forest of trees, like just tall, tall, tall trees. That's all I remember seeing. And then I did hear a lot of animals and see a lot of animals for some reason, which it made sense in the end. I'll get into that. But I did hear and see a lot of animals. I did see different symbols that I wrote down and drew out. And I did hear a few things like I kept hearing, "You got it, you got it, you got it, you got it." Like casual out of nowhere. But they did ask you whenever you get there, whenever you're in the forest, so the best way to do meditation is to, like I said, really pay attention to all of your senses. What are you feeling? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are you smelling? What are you tasting? If you're doing that, it really helps you get into the meditation and get into what you're seeing, because it makes you connect more. So they ask you when you get there to look down at your feet and see if you have shoes on. And a lot of times when you're doing this, especially when you're starting out, you're going to feel like your mind is controlling it and you're seeing things that you want to see. And for me at the moment, like I said, I had just got off work, so for some reason I pictured myself in my work clothes. And I could have sworn I had on shoes and everything, but as soon as I looked down, I had no shoes on. And they were saying if you have no shoes on, that means you're very connected to Mother Earth. That means you need to spend more time out in nature and things like that. And if you know me, you know I love like animals. I love nature. I love being outside. I'm from the country, so I love that. So that just made a lot of sense to me. They continue to walk you through the forest. There's a path. They say there's a path that you walk down, and then you're going to end up in a field. Now, this field for me was a field of tall, flowing grass. And out in the distance, they did say that there was a tree with water around it. And this is where I started crying. I am not a very emotional person, but this hit me hard. Before I even got into the Woo Collective, before I got really deep into anything, I would normally just meditate and see what I got. Just see what happened and see how it went. And for the longest, I would meditate and try to calm myself down. And in order to calm myself down, I would breathe in, count of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathe out, count of 7. And then I would also like picture the numbers as I say them, just to get my mind off of everything else. And then for a long time, I would also see a tree, a tall tree with like just water surrounding the trunk. And for the longest, I just thought it was my way of calming myself down. It was my way of just getting into my meditative state. And for them to say that there was a tree with water around it and things like that, for me to see that again, that exact same image, I just felt an overflow of energy at the moment. I felt an overflow of emotions and overflow of energy, and it hit me. It was like, you've been to this healing grid. You've been here. You've created your own space that is protected for you, and you just never knew it. I had never told anybody about that. I had never really spoken about it. It was just something that was for me, and for me to see that again, it just helped me realize that I have been doing this work. I just haven't known that I was doing the work. I was doing it, and I was going places that some people haven't been before. And it just really was reassuring. And then it brought me back to that, you got it, you got it, you got it. It was so reassuring for me, because I'm a person who always wants to do things the right way. And so for me, it was like, oh, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? For me to constantly hear, you got it, you got it, you got it. And then that reassurance when I seen that tree, knowing that I've been to this healing grid before, it was just an amazing feeling. In the trunk of the tree, there is a door. And we go through the door, we're in a cabin. They're describing the cabin, and then we're just writing down what we're feeling as we're in there. And then they go into doing more work, more in detail about just the healing energy and just helping us reclaim our energy and take our energy back. That was basically the healing grid. It was just a space for all of us to go and to connect with the creators of the Woo Collective, and for them to do work, which they are licensed DNA activation practitioners. They have gifts. They do things all the time. They work with a lot of different clients. So it was a very interesting experience for me. It gave me a lot of clarification and a lot of reassurance that I am doing the things that I need to be doing on this journey. Even though sometimes I doubt myself or sometimes I second guess myself, I am doing the work and I am on this journey for a reason. The experience though, after we got out of the meditation, sometimes when you're in a deep meditative state, sometimes, like I said, you can get out of that meditation. If you haven't watched my meditation video, definitely go and check that out. But sometimes once you get out of meditation, the energy is just flowing and you feel like when your foot falls asleep and it feels like there's a lot of little dots, that's what your body feels like. It could tingle, it can radiate. It's just the overflow of energy, and it's sometimes it depends. Sometimes you just want to go to sleep. There have been many times where I just want to sleep after a deep meditation, or after I'm doing if I'm doing a lot of readings, or if there's just an overflow of energy, sometimes it can drain you. And after this, I'm not gonna lie, I was drained. I was so tired. I was like, okay, I gotta take a nap. That was it for the day. I had to take a nap. It was a very amazing experience. And as far as Reclaim goes, it helped me realize that flow of energy is constantly there. Now I just have to be more conscious of where I'm giving my energy and where I'm taking in energy. And so that healing grid was just amazing. I keep saying this, but it was just amazing. It just felt so good. And if you've ever meditated and you've felt like you've been out of your body, or you felt like you went somewhere and you've seen things and things like that, you would definitely understand what I'm saying when I say just the feeling of being outside of my body was just amazing. It was, some people may not like that feeling, but it was amazing for me. I loved it. I definitely can go back and do it any day. I would love to do that. After realizing that I had created my own healing space and created this space for my clients, or created this space for anybody who is going to be dealing with me and my services or anything that I offer, it was a good feeling. And for me, at first I was just like, okay, that was during that. Like, no one that you've worked on or worked with has been to this space. So I forgot about it. I'm not going to lie. I didn't really think about it as much until the day before yesterday. Now, like I said, I do readings for people. I've just started reading cards. I've just started pulling cards. I've just gotten more into it lately. And recently my grandmother asked me for a reading. She's been going through a lot health-wise, and she just wanted a reading. So I pulled her cards, and in the middle of the reading, mind you, I haven't told anybody about this experience. I haven't talked about it until now. And so I'm giving her messages. I'm giving her all the information that I'm getting from my guides. I'm giving her the information that I'm getting from the cards. I'm giving her all the information, and I'm texting it, because I prefer to text my readings, because when I text my readings, I can meditate, and sometimes it just flows. A lot of times I don't even remember what I say until I go back and read it. So that allows me to basically step out of my body. And sometimes if you're needing a message from your spirit guides, if you're needing a message from your ancestors, if you're needing a message from someone, that allows them to speak through me, if that makes sense. So I was texting her all the information from the reading, and all of a sudden she texts back. But like I said, when I'm texting, a lot of times, how can I explain this? When I do readings and I'm in a meditative state, it seems like when I am texting, it's kind of like I black out. But I'm fully functional. So I'm typing away, and I realize that I'm typing, but I don't really understand what I'm typing until I go back, like I said, and read it again. And at first, it was kind of weird for me, I had to really get used to it because, again, I am a control freak. I like to have control over situations and things that I do. And for me, that was kind of hard to just let go. But I have been doing very good with that. So she was texting me, and she texted me, and I really just wasn't paying attention. I just went back to what I was doing. Once I sent everything and I took back control, I took back everything, I went back and was reading her messages, and she texted me and said, I keep seeing a tree with water around it. What is this? And I, again, broke down. I was so emotional about it because I was like, oh my gosh, my grandma is in my healing grid. My grandma is so connected to me. We are so close. So I'm not surprised it was her to be the first one to tell me. But it was just like, wow, like someone is in the space that I've created in a place of peace while I'm working with them. And it was just so amazing and just a great experience overall. It was pretty much day 4. Day 4 wasn't that long. It was a pretty short video. It was just, it was basically kind of the, what's the word? The calm after the storm. Because if you have not watched day 3, you know shadow work be putting you through it sometimes. So it's kind of the calm and kind of the rest and the recovery after shadow work. So it was a really good experience. Like I said, if you have any questions, make sure you comment and ask them, or you can definitely message me on Instagram at Grounded Beautifully, or on Facebook at Beautifully Grounded. And like always, like, comment, share, subscribe, and definitely comment and tell me about your little practice and see if you could feel that energy. Let me know what you felt. Let me know what you sensed, maybe what you heard, what you saw. If anything came up for you, definitely let me know. And if it's not something you want to just put out there, definitely inbox me and give me that information, because I would love to hear your stories. And like always, make today beautiful and stay grounded. Love you guys.